My brothers and sisters, many people quietly ask themselves, why am I still single? Why hasn't Allah sent the right person yet? Especially when you see others getting married and moving ahead in life, you begin to wonder whether Allah has overlooked you. But Allah does not overlook. Allah does not forget. There is no gap in His knowledge and no error in His plan. Your current phase is not a punishment, it is precision. You are exactly where Allah wants you to be right now, even if you don't yet understand why. Some of you are single because Allah is protecting you from something you cannot see. You might think you're ready, you might think you found someone suitable, or you might feel pressured because people around you are settling down, but Allah sees the future that you cannot see. He knows what a person is truly like behind closed doors. He knows their character, their habits, their intentions, and the challenges they would bring into your life. Sometimes the person you think is perfect today would become the greatest source of pain tomorrow. The wrong person can bring chaos into your home, disturb your mental peace, and lead you away from Allah. Imagine entering a marriage where you constantly feel drained, unappreciated, or spiritually weakened. Allah, in His mercy, keeps you away from that before it even reaches you. You might see only the delay, but Allah sees the destruction that delay is preventing. So He withholds not to deprive you, but to shield you. He closes certain doors because He knows you would walk through them and regret it. He blocks certain relationships because He knows they would break you. Many people realize this only years later when they look back and say, Alhamdulillah, that didn't work out. One day, you will look back and understand that Allah's timing was not just better, it was a form of protection you didn't know you desperately needed. Some of you are single because you need healing, and this is something many people underestimate. We live in a time where everyone appears strong on the outside, confident on social media, smiling in pictures, pretending everything is fine. But inside, many hearts carry wounds that have never been addressed. Disappointments, betrayals, childhood pain, failed relationships, emotional scars, unrealistic expectations, and sometimes even guilt over past mistakes. The truth is, you cannot enter a new chapter while old pages are still bleeding. You cannot build a stable marriage on a foundation that is cracked or shaken. When Allah delays your marriage, it is not because He wants you to suffer, it is because He wants you to enter that marriage with a heart that is healthy, steady, peaceful, and ready to give and receive love in a way that is sincere and sustainable. A lot of people don't realize this. Marriage does not magically fix your internal problems. In fact, it exposes them. Marriage is like a mirror. It shows you the parts of you that you've ignored. It reveals your habits, your ego, your insecurities, your patience or lack of it. If you are carrying unresolved pain, it will spill into your relationship. If your heart is still stuck in the past, your spouse will feel it. If you haven't dealt with your trauma, your reactions will be shaped by it. This is why Allah, out of His mercy, gives people time to heal before He gives them a spouse. Imagine entering a marriage with wounds that you've never dealt with. A small disagreement becomes a disaster. A misunderstanding becomes a heartbreak. A simple comment triggers an old memory and creates new conflict. And suddenly, your marriage suffers not because of your spouse, but because of pain that existed before they even arrived. Allah does not want you to harm someone who comes into your life with good intentions. He doesn't want you to project old hurt onto a new relationship. He wants your heart to be soft, your mind to be clear, and your character to be refined. He wants you to be emotionally mature enough to handle the responsibilities, sacrifices, and test of marriage. Healing isn't just about forgetting bad memories. Healing means rebuilding yourself. It means learning how to communicate calmly instead of reacting emotionally. It means learning patience, self-control, forgiveness, and empathy. It means breaking unhealthy patterns you might have picked up along the way. Some of you may have grown up in environments where you didn't see healthy communication, where anger was normal, where silence was used as punishment, where love was inconsistent. And now, Allah is giving you time to unlearn these patterns, because they don't belong in a marriage. They may feel normal to you, but they can destroy a relationship that could have been beautiful. Some of you may have experienced unhealthy relationships in the past, relationships that damaged your self-esteem, confused your identity, or weakened your connection with Allah. Allah is not going to place you in a new relationship until you repair the way you see yourself and the way you see love. Because if you don't heal, you will walk into a new relationship expecting your spouse to fix you, fill the emptiness inside you, or constantly reassure you, and that puts unbearable pressure on another human being. Marriage thrives when both people enter as whole individuals, not perfect individuals, but emotionally grounded ones. People who can communicate with kindness, people who can handle stress without breaking the other person, people who can forgive, apologize, and grow together. These qualities don't appear overnight. They are built through patience, self-reflection, dua, and effort. Allah knows you. He knows what hurt you. He knows the wounds you hide. He knows your struggles, even the ones you don't speak about. And He knows what kind of healing you need before you enter a lifelong partnership. This time of being single is not a punishment. It is therapy from Allah. It is a phase where He is cleaning your heart, strengthening your soul, and preparing your mind. Instead of asking, why am I still single? Ask yourself, what part of me still needs healing? Maybe you need to rebuild your self-worth. Maybe you need to let go of past guilt. Maybe you need to forgive someone. Maybe you need to forgive yourself. Maybe you need to reconnect with Allah after a period of distance. Or maybe you simply need to learn how to love in a way that is compassionate, not desperate. My brothers and sisters, when Allah delays, He delays with wisdom. And when Allah heals you, He heals you beautifully. One day, when you enter marriage with a heart that is ready, you will understand that this waiting period was one of the greatest gifts Allah ever gave you. And some of you are single because Allah wants to grow you before He gives you. This is one of the most overlooked realities of life. People want the blessing immediately, but they don't want the preparation that makes them capable of protecting and honoring that blessing. Marriage isn't just a beautiful moment, it is a lifelong responsibility. It requires strength, patience, emotional maturity, communication skills, financial responsibility, and above all, a heart that is grounded in faith. Allah knows what level of maturity you will need to handle the difficulties that come with marriage. Many people think marriage is simply companionship and romance, but the truth is it also demands sacrifice. It demands compromise. It demands patience on days when you're tired. It demands forgiveness even when your ego wants to win. Marriage is two human beings with different backgrounds, habits, personalities, and weaknesses learning to walk through life together. If Allah gave you a spouse before you developed the character needed to sustain a marriage, the relationship could break under your immaturity, your impatience, or your lack of discipline. So instead of letting you lose a good marriage due to unpreparedness, Allah gives you time to grow. Some of you are single because Allah is teaching you emotional control. If you react quickly, get angry easily, shut down during disagreements, or avoid difficult conversations, these tendencies would create major problems in a marriage. Allah wants you to learn how to communicate calmly, how to handle frustration without breaking someone's heart, and how to disagree without disrespect. These are not small qualities. They are the pillars of a peaceful home. Some of you are single because Allah is teaching you responsibility. Maybe you need to learn how to manage finances, how to stay consistent in your work, how to organize your life, how to make decisions with wisdom rather than impulse. Marriage requires stability. A home cannot be built on laziness, inconsistency, or recklessness. Allah gives you this time to build habits that will support both you and your future spouse. Some of you are single because Allah wants you to become emotionally independent before becoming emotionally connected. Marriage is not a place to dump your insecurities. It's a place to share life with someone, not to burden them with wounds you haven't learned to manage. Allah wants you to be able to stand on your own feet, so when your spouse stands beside you, it's partnership, not dependence. Some of you are single because Allah wants to strengthen your relationship with Him first. If your heart is too attached to the dunya, if your priorities are misaligned, if your connection with Allah is weak, then giving you marriage at this time might pull you even further away from Him. But Allah loves you too much to let that happen. So He keeps you waiting until your deen is stronger, your heart is cleaner, and your focus is clearer. Some of you are single because Allah is refining your character. Marriage requires kindness, gentleness, patience, and understanding. These qualities are not always natural. They are developed. You learn them through challenges, through growth, through experiences that shape you. Every test you face right now, every frustration, every disappointment, every delay is building the qualities you will need as a spouse. Think about it. If you cannot handle stress alone, how will you handle stress with two people involved? If you cannot control your tongue when you're angry, how will you control it when words can emotionally wound someone you love? If you struggle with consistency in prayer, in discipline, or in effort, how will you lead a household? Allah is preparing you silently through everyday lessons to become a person who can hold a family together with wisdom and compassion. Some of you are single because your life is not yet in the position where marriage would flourish. You may need to complete your education, stabilize your career, support your parents for a period, or clear certain challenges that would complicate your marriage. Allah is arranging your circumstances so that when you enter marriage, you enter it with stability rather than chaos. And some of you are single because Allah is writing a story that requires timing, not rushing. The person written for you may also be in a season of growth. They may be healing, maturing, or learning important life lessons. Allah might be preparing them for you just as much as He's preparing you for them. Two unprepared individuals rushing into marriage can cause heartbreak. Two prepared individuals entering at the right time create tranquility. The growth Allah is giving you right now is not random. Every challenge teaches you something. Every delay shapes your perspective. Every responsibility builds your resilience. Every disappointment softens your heart and increases your empathy. These qualities matter. They directly affect the way you communicate, the way you solve problems, the way you love, the way you forgive, the way you endure. When Allah is preparing you for marriage, He is not just preparing you for a spouse, He is preparing you for a household, for parenthood, for leadership, for partnership, and for a long journey that requires emotional, spiritual, and mental strength. Your waiting period is a training ground. It is a place where Allah strengthens your character quietly, day by day. You don't always see the progress, but it is happening. And one day, when the right person enters your life, you will realize why Allah needed you to grow before granting you that blessing. So instead of seeing this time as a void, see it as an investment. Allah is building you, shaping you, stretching you, and polishing you. Because what He wants to give you later requires a stronger, wiser, calmer, more mature version of you. And when He finally gives, you will understand that this growth was one of the greatest mercies He placed in your life. Being single is a test, but it is also a gift. Most people only focus on the test. They see the loneliness, the silence, the empty seat beside them, the events they attend alone, and the questions people keep asking. When are you getting married? What are you waiting for? Haven't you found someone yet? And for many, that pressure becomes heavier than the loneliness itself. But what they fail to see is that Allah never gives a test without attaching a mercy to it. Every test carries hidden blessings, and every delay carries hidden wisdom. Being single is not just an emotional test, it is actually a phase in your life filled with advantages you might not fully appreciate right now. Let's talk about the test first. Loneliness is real. You feel it when you watch your friends progressing, starting their families, posting their engagements, births, and anniversaries. You feel it when you have no one to share your achievements with at the end of the day. You feel it when you see others supported while you carry your responsibilities alone. There are nights when the world becomes quiet and your heart begins to whisper thoughts you don't share with anyone. What if I never find someone? What if something is wrong with me? Why is this happening to me? These thoughts are part of the test.